Welcome back to the Blue Blood TV podcast. It's episode 12, and if you're listening from Duke University, the air feels a little different. We went into last week with the ultimate question: who owns the rivalry? And after 40 minutes of basketball, we got a loud 15-point answer with a 76-61 win. Duke didn't just beat UNC, they silenced the Hill and took the momentum straight into the postseason. But check it out. It's March, and there's no time to celebrate. The Blue Devils are back on the floor tonight to take on dangerous Florida State in the ACC Tournament. And the question is, can Duke keep humming, or is a hangover looming? On the other side, we've got Carolina. Carolina takes on Clemson, and we're going to see and talk to Will about which team will show up. Today, we're breaking down the film of the blowout, looking at what went wrong for the Hills, previewing the road to the ACC Tournament. Grab your coffee. It's time to talk Blue Blood basketball. The Blue Blood TV podcast is available on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, guys, these shows grow when you share them. So we have a great show here. Share them with all your friends. Make them aware of the Blue Blood TV podcast. What's up, guys? What's up, Will?
What's going on, man? How are you, brother? Good to see you.
Darryl?
Hey, I've never been so happy to see you in my life, man. Good afternoon.
All right. How do you feel now that the Blue Blood rivalry is over, Darryl? We had a little break.
I had to go see my dentist earlier this week just to make sure I could smile, man, because I haven't been able to wipe this thing off my face since Saturday night when the buzzer went off and Duke finished Carolina off by 15.
Will, tell us about Chapel Hill. Like, how are they feeling? Like, what's the vibe of a Carolina fan right now?
No, I mean it's anytime you lose to that school that shall not be named, it's rough. That performance was obviously not one of our best, and I think if we get past Clemson tonight, we're looking forward to Chapter 3. So. I think the fact that we have a shot to redeem ourselves is the redeeming factor in the whole thing.
All right, so Darryl, let's just talk about the game, the momentum shift. Darryl, we saw Duke take control early and really never look back. 76-61. From your perspective, Darryl, was this more about Duke's offensive rhythm, or did UNC simply run out of gas, run out of Caleb Wilson? And is this a different team without Caleb Wilson, Darryl?
I'd love to talk about Duke and how great Duke is this season, how consistent they've been all year. But I do think the story for an objective viewer is that Carolina just doesn't look good without Caleb Wilson. I think they gave it everything that they had in the first half, even coming out in the second half, pretty close in the first couple minutes. I cut it down to one at one point. But once it got bad, it got bad, and it got bad fast. And there was a stretch where it looked like Carolina couldn't even get the ball to a point where they could get a shot that was reasonable, a shot that looked like it might go in. They couldn't control the ball. Duke seized the momentum and they ran with it. But I think my biggest concern for this podcast, for the viewers, for college basketball is, how does Carolina go forward into March Madness with such a depleted team without the energy of Caleb Wilson? And he's the type of guy that in that moment when they were struggling could have slammed it home one time and got the energy going, but they have nobody, and I mean nobody, who can do that for them now, Hassan.
Okay, Will, do you echo? I think that was pretty sincere, Darryl, but Will, do you echo what Darryl said? I think he gave a very sincere answer there.
He gave an answer. I don't know if it was sincere necessarily. He gave an answer. If you look at the box score from this game,
let's look at
two things stand out, right? So field goal percentage for the game, Carolina 45, Duke 42. 3-pointers for the game, Carolina 38%, 31%. Free throws, 4 of 4 for Carolina for 100%, 8 of 15. That's one right there. You got to get to the free throw line more than 4 times in a game, right? And then if you scroll down, we had 14 turnovers. Duke had 40 missed shots. They out-rebounded us. and they were able to capitalize off of 14 turnovers. Those are the two definitive characteristics in this game. Duke without
I feel
Caleb
like you're proving
Foster,
my
they're
point, though,
gonna.
Will. Are you not proving the
No,
point of
no, I'm
missing
not
Caleb Wilson?
because I mean, yeah, we miss Caleb Wilson. We miss him on the glass, and we miss his inside presence. But what I'm saying is, you're talking about how we're going to have to figure out how to move forward without him. We were 5-2 without him this season. It's not. We played 7 games now without him. It's not like, I mean, we just beat Clemson before we lost to you guys. It's not like this is a new thing and learning how to play without Caleb Wilson. We outshot you guys. We outshot you guys from beyond the arc and field goal percentage. We just did, and we had more. We finally made some free throws in the game. We just only made 4 of them. That's the problem. So yes, we miss him, but I don't think the situation's as dire as you make it out to be, Darryl.
So Will, you're saying this game was won on turnovers and the offensive glass. Is that what you're saying?
Offensive glass and turnovers. So yes, we miss Caleb Wilson from those two standpoints, but this team has played and proven that they can win without him. They've played without him. They've proven they can win without him.
Against what I said was that what I said was true. It's just this one game that was the thing, and it's not going to be a thing going forward.
Duke defensive. No, I mean, if you look at the stat line, so you look at Derek Dixon, for example, had 17 points, played 32 minutes, and didn't turn the ball over a single time. So I think we also learned quite a bit from this team. We went for 11 minutes, one field first half, like that can't happen. I don't think we're going to play another team unless we play you guys again tomorrow night that's as good defensively as you guys are. We know now what we need to work out. Before, we needed to work out free throws. We were trash on free throws. It was embarrassing how bad this team was at free throws.
Let me say this real quick, Will. The numbers
don't
always
four times.
The numbers don't always tell the story. And I think for anybody who actually watched this game, especially the second half, you could see it was an obvious deficiency and deficit between where Duke is and where Carolina is. And I don't think that was the case just a month ago when Caleb Wilson was playing. So while I hear what you're saying about Carolina playing teams leading up to this game without Caleb Wilson and competing, winning, sure. But to just a month ago,
Darryl, a month ago in that game, you guys led from wire. You guys led from the opening tip to 0.4 seconds left.
Who made the difference, Will? And who made the difference? Who brought energy to that team? Who kept them in the game?
Caleb Wilson did, but and I'm not saying we don't miss him by any means. I'm not saying we don't miss him, but I'm looking forward. We have to learn how to play without him.
You don't have to say it. We saw it. I watched it on Saturday.
Yeah, we did. But the original question and a secondary point that you made in answering the question was that Carolina needs to figure out how they're going to move forward in March. I think if we limit turnovers and we get Jaren Stevenson a little bit more physical down low, we'll be fine. I mean, you look at the last game against Clemson, he had 9 points and 10 boards. You look at Henry Vassar's stat line, he had double-digit rebounds as well. Clemson isn't Duke. I think we'll be fine tonight, and then we'll figure it out. We know how to play you guys. I think y'all need to worry about Ngongba being out and Caleb Foster being out as well. So
he was out for this game and we won. But just before I get back to Hassan, so basically what you're saying is that you guys went from being Sweet 16 at the worst to now who knows where you finish, because you can beat Clemson's and Florida States, but you can't beat the Dukes, which is probably what you're going to see when you get to that final 16.
No, Darryl, I don't think that's what he's saying.
Darryl,
I think he's saying
I haven't won this season against teams. I feel like this team has the talent to compete with just about anybody in the country. You look, if outside of that 11-minute stretch, we were able to cut it close. You guys pulled away in the second half with another scoreless drought in the second half. But like, this team isn't a complete train wreck completely without Caleb Wilson.
Darryl, I think what Will is saying is if they manage the ball and they fix the offensive glass and they focus on it, he's saying they can beat you without Caleb Wilson. Is that what you're saying, Will? right? Because
You
Will's
guys,
saying he beat
you
you in
guys had
every other category. Is that what you're saying,
Yeah.
Will?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm listening. Let me listen.
You guys had 69 field goal attempts. You had 15 offensive rebounds, right?
You got
So if
out
we
rebounded on the glass by a team that didn't
just
have
hear
their
me,
big man.
that's fine. You're probably not going to have your big man tomorrow. I think he sits out until the tournament.
We don't, at this point, we don't need him. I don't think they need him. I think the Caleb Foster injury is probably more critical than Gongba's going to be for the ACC tournament. Now, if you talk NCAA,
Okay,
we might have a different conversation.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing: is you guys had 69 field goal attempts, 15 offensive boards, right? If you cut that in half, I'm not saying because teams are going to get offensive boards, right? That's just part of the game. But if you cut that in half, you limit the amount of times y'all get to the 15 times you guys get to the foul line. Y'all shot 53%. You guys made half of your free throws. Like this, these two teams, the disparity.
Indian nuts, what a wonderful Christmas it would be.
Cool, but the disparity between these two teams isn't as great with the injuries that both teams have. And Dame Sarr played the best game that he's played all season. He's been inconsistent as hell this season. He's not going to do
good his last 7 games. Just so you know,
okay,
he's been very good late in the season.
And so is Derek Dixon, but that's neither here nor there. And so if you put these two teams up on a neutral floor where you don't have Henry Vassar getting tackled and being called for a foul as he goes up for a rebound, the disparity between these two teams isn't as great as you think it is.
Will, in the first game, I think the Duke got like 4 fouls in the second half. Like they could say the same thing about the first.
One foul, Hassan. Remind them
one foul. Okay, it was 1 foul, right? So
yeah.
So Duke could say the same exact thing when they were in the Dean Dome floor.
And when I said it, Hassan, he told me not to. Sure. So thank you for bringing that point.
Hey, Darryl. We watched the same game, right? We both watched the game on Saturday, right?
I was there, yes, sir. I did watch it.
Okay, so did you see? I'm not saying 4 fouls is 4 fouls. Four free throws for the entire game. We had one. We only had 1 foul called against us in the second half. That's part of that is us going inside, but they called a foul on Vassar as he got tackled from behind while going up for a rebound. You couldn't look at that and tell me that wasn't a foul.
Yeah, the good thing is that would have probably made you lose by 13 instead of 15.
Okay,
I mean,
but what I'm saying is, so we got calls at home. You guys got calls at home on a neutral court. Let's see how it goes. Let's see chapter 3.
When I argued about fouls, it was a last second 3-point shot to win the game, where fouls might have made a difference. In this case, I mean, we talk about it. Fouls are missed on every play just about. So I'm not sitting here saying that you're not accurate in what you're saying. That home court advantage doesn't play a part in the whistle, right? But also, I think you saw what the talent really looks like in that second half. And while you guys have people like Dixon, like you mentioned, who are rising talent, I also think right now they should have figured this out. And unfortunately, because Caleb Wilson, who they thought was coming back, is no longer coming back, they have to figure it out all over again.
That's a gut shot. It's a gut shot. We know how to play without him. Losing your guy the day of or the day before the biggest game of the season or one of the biggest games of your season is a gut shot. And not making excuses for the team. I think, Haas, you'll agree with me, man. Duke had 24 points off of turnovers. If you limit the turnovers, it becomes a game right there, right? And a lot of that is due to Duke on the defensive side of the ball. We've been talking about it all season. But if you limit your turnovers, that game's a hell of a lot closer than the scoreboard leads everybody to think it was.
Okay, but Will, what are the probabilities you get another shot to redo this?
I mean, we have to win one game. We play them Friday, right?
So are you going to win tonight?
Duke.
Are you going to win tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. And
we matched up really well with this Clemson team.
Okay. So, Darryl, are you going to win tonight?
Yes.
So what's that? You cut out.
So Friday, you guys get to do it again, right?
Yeah.
I'd love to see nothing more than that, Hassan, because I'd love to see this on a neutral court so we have no excuses.
Yeah, I think so here's the thing. So I think Duke is not going to play as good on a neutral court. They're just not, okay? Because Most of their games are in Cameron or in the Garden. But what I will say is Friday night, you get a chance to do it again, right? The Carolina can learn from that game, understand that ball possession is super, super important, and they can deal with the offensive glass. I mean, Jaron Stevenson can get up on the glass a little bit more. And if they fix those things, potentially there's a good game. So, Will, before we move on from Carolina Duke, are you predicting another rematch? And will you win tonight? And will you win the 2 out of 3 for the season?
I think we will. Yeah, I think that this team, there's still a lot of doubt about this team because of how Saturday night went, and no Caleb, and that's the national narrative, and yada, yada, yada. And I think this team matches up really well. We already beat them by, I mean, granted, it was by 4, but it was a great game, a great defensive match, and guys stepped up, and Dixon's playing some of the best ball that he has all season. So I think we match up really well with Clemson tonight, and then we turn around and play tomorrow against Duke. And I think that Friday. Wait, yeah, tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow against Duke. So I think that, I mean, I think we'll win. I think we can win. I think we will win.
Okay, Darryl. Duke Carolina fans, download Duke Carolina, the Blue Blood Rivalry film on iTunes or Apple TV or wherever you get your VOD downloads.
Hey, Queen, you know you my guy, right? I'm always pulling for you. Tonight, when you step on the court, I step on the court too. And we in it.
There's only 2 games that matter. It's the North Carolina game at Duke and the Duke game that's at North Carolina.
When we wake up on game day, there's a knot in my stomach. We've been up since 6 a.m. this morning watching recorded Duke Carolina games.
I watched the Rivers shot
about 15 times.
Yeah.
Rivers on his own. Yes, at the buzzer.
We're here for the Duke game.
And it is 10 hours and 9 minutes till game time.
The Blue Devils win 85-84.
Nothing better than North Carolina and Duke. It is the best rivalry in all of college basketball. Hall of Fame coaches, great players, and usually so much at stake.
And that's it. Carolina's won it. The fans have as much to do with the rivalry being great as the players and the coaches.
It's 5 hours before game time.
Well, there's no question that the rivalry is there every day in our community.
Can you imagine what it would be like around here if people didn't have it? It would be terrifying.
We are 30 minutes away from tip-off.
It's one of the most exciting events you can be a part of, and I still say it's not the biggest rivalry in college basketball. It's the biggest rivalry in all of sport, bar none.
It's game time! Okay, Darryl, tell me what you think happens. Do you play Carolina on Friday? Do you win tonight? What happens, Darryl? I mean, you're playing a pretty scrappy team, Florida State.
Yeah, Hassan, what's like the minimum amount of words that I can use for this essay? I'm thinking like easy win tonight, easy win tomorrow. I like I'm really not trying to swear I'm not trying to be funny, but I think Carolina played one of the best first halves that they could play, and that's why it was so close. That's great. Duke didn't play in a phenomenal first half, but when they turned it on, you saw the difference between the teams. These are not small
what are you
guards
talking
that
about?
they have. The reason why they turn the ball over so much, and you've told me this several episodes, hey, if teams can limit the turnovers against Duke, hey, you're turning them over 18 times. Like, it's because the defense is they're long. Dame's 6'8". Isaiah Evans is 6'6", 6'7", depending on who's standing next to him. Like, these are bigger guards, and they're probably going to have to play together more now because they don't have Caleb Foster. Caden Boozer comes in. I really think that's probably the question mark right now because we haven't seen him as the number one guy as far as the guard play is concerned, point guard specifically. I think that the difference between Carolina with Caleb Wilson against Duke was not very large. I think they were like neck and neck. I will tell you that candidly. But I think losing Caleb Wilson and sitting here telling me when the teams were almost even with Caleb Wilson, that now somehow Carolina's going to beat them when they only beat them off a game-winning shot in the Dean Dome is freaking – I can't even think of a word that would be suitable for kids right now. So I'm going to call it crazy.
Darryl, I'm going to call your recap of the first half of that game. You're not suitable for work because the kids are listening crazy as hell. Did you were at the game, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but we just need the listeners to understand the fact that you said Carolina played one of the best first halves they could possibly play, and you were at the game and watched the same game that Haas and I did.
Yes.
Granted, we weren't at the game. There's a yes to that, right?
Yes.
We went for 11 minutes with one field goal. What the hell are you talking about, us playing the best first half of basketball that we could possibly play?
Still felt like it was the best basketball I could consider watching them play against that Duke team.
What are you possibly talking about?
Okay, guys, listen. We're gonna get to round 3 from both of you. You said round 3 will happen tomorrow, but Will, let's talk about tonight. We're gonna call tonight the road to redemption. Will, 76-61 loss. It wasn't a close game. Duke blew you out.
No.
Tough pill to swallow it, Will. Okay.
Yeah, you bored.
But if you're in that locker room right now, what's the number one adjustment you're demanding for tonight and tomorrow?
Take care of the damn basketball. That's it.
Tell Hubert right now. Tell him.
You've got to have your players take care of the damn basketball. The amount of turnovers that Duke was able to force just by running, the three of us never played competitive basketball at a high level, right? But we all understand the fact that when you inbounds, you don't throw the ball to the damn corner. You're handing the ball to the opposite team. Right? And I don't know how many times, even the announcers have to say it in every game that we've played the last 4 games. We turn the ball over 5 times a game because we run to the damn corner and just give the ball to the other team. Limit the turnovers and we can win basketball games. This team is good enough and has the talent enough to stay in games. If Duke doesn't have 24 points off of turnovers, that game's a hell of a lot closer than the 15 points. We might even, there's a slim chance we're having an entirely different conversation today. Limit the turnovers.
Okay, Darryl. Trap game tonight? Yes or no? Answer the question.
No.
Okay, Darryl. Do you know the score of the last meeting in January?
It was actually really close. It was
91-87. That was the score.
That was surprisingly close, and I think because
no. That was the score. It wasn't surprisingly, Darryl. That was the score.
The spread on that was like 14 points. So I mean, it was surprisingly close, and I think because it was so close that Duke's aware that they have to bring their best foot forward tonight, right? Especially being down a big man when Florida State's biggest benefit over Duke is probably having length. So not having Gongba tonight, I think hurts, but I don't think it's a trap game, especially seeing how Duke could see Carolina tomorrow. If Carolina loses, you guys will play after. I'm sorry. Carolina plays at 9:30. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah, we've got the late game.
Okay. So luckily for Duke, they want to win so they can see Carolina again. Carolina might be the one in the trap game, if you could call it that. Once Duke wins, trying to beat Clemson to get to Duke, they might overlook Clemson and get caught off guard.
No, okay, but do you know how many points FSU scored in its opening game?
How many?
95 points, Darryl.
Wow. Who they beat?
Duke.
Who they beat?
Florida State. Florida State's one of those teams that it doesn't matter how bad they are. It's like that Leonard Hamilton hangover. They've always been able to score a lot of points, and I mean. Anything can happen in March. That's why we love it. I'm not saying Florida State's going to beat Duke. It's a 16.5-point line tonight, but who knows? I mean, Duke doesn't have any. Duke's got a 1 seed on lock, right? And they're banged up. So who knows?
So they beat Cal.
Listen,
9 a.m.
Hold on. Now my turn to have a question for you. Do you know how many points Cal scored? Because do you know how many points they scored against Florida State yesterday? Cal.
89.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a high scoring
against Duke
game.
Back when they played.
I mean, that's a high scoring game. I mean, listen. Do you know how many points Florida State put up against Duke the last I just told you, 87.
Yeah, I'm about to say you just told me 87.
So what we're saying, Darryl, is this team scores points. They don't really defend. I mean, you put up 90 points on them, 91 points, but they score buckets, right? And you did that with Ngangba. You're not going to have them tonight.
Yeah, well,
Is
luckily
this
they
a
give up a lot
game?
of buckets too.
What I think,
Darryl, what's the deal with Foster too? We need an injury
He broke his
update.
foot.
Man.
He broke his. He fractured a bone in his foot.
Okay,
I think they
so
said
he's
probably
out for a while.
at least through the Final Four. He could come back if Duke were to make the Final Four.
Okay. So
that's a
Darryl,
tough
I
loss.
think this could be a trap game for you. I really do. I think without Caleb Foster, without Ngangba, without the length, without Caleb Foster, this could be a game that you lose.
It's going to be a track meet.
This could be a track meet, Darryl. That's what I'm getting at. Like, they're not playing defense. This team is going to the hoop. They're speeding up the game. They're going to get buckets.
Yeah. Well, luckily for us, they've had 14 games where somebody happened to run faster than they did in the track meets that they've been involved in this year.
But you almost lost this game the first time. If you had blown them out the first time, I would agree with you. But you didn't. And you could have lost that game the first time.
Yeah, I guess unless there's a horseshoe or a hand grenade somewhere close, that almost really didn't count for anything.
Okay, we're not getting any honesty. Darryl, can you help me?
All we're saying, man, is that March. We've all been watching ACC basketball since we were kids, right? We've been in this a long time, and crazier things have happened than this Florida State team who dropped 87 against you guys in the first match, somehow finding a way. Broken clocks are right twice a day. So nobody's saying it's going to happen. It just could. It could happen.
Listen, I'm not saying I want you to be very clear. I'm not saying that it's impossible, right? But also, you guys talk about home court all the time, and the ghost of Leonard Hamilton specifically. That first game was at Florida State in Tallahassee. This game, Hassan, as you like to put, is basically a Duke home game because it's in Charlotte, right up the road. And so,
that's a Carolina home game.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when Florida State's playing, there are going to be far more.
Charlotte's a little bit further from the Northeast.
I don't even know. I don't know that. I don't know that, Darryl. I mean, I don't know that Duke's going to have a ton of fans there. I think Carolina fans are going to be in the spectrum. I think Carolina fans are going to be there. I think they're going to have the bulk of the tickets. I don't know. I know Florida State travels pretty well, so I don't know that now.
What makes you think that Duke fans won't represent, Hassan?
Because y'all will show up for the later rounds.
That's a city with the most Carolina alumni in the country. So that is home court. Charlotte is like Madison Square Garden for Duke.
So then tomorrow, when Duke and Carolina play, hopefully, then we could say the same way we do about Madison Square Garden that it's a Carolina home game then, huh?
Yeah, I would even consider Atlanta a Carolina home game. Atlanta and Charlotte are Carolina's territory. That's what I would say.
Okay, I can't wait to revisit this next week.
Well, let me ask you a question.
What's up?
The biggest thing I'm concerned about Carolina tonight and tomorrow is the scoring drought. You guys only had 27 points in the second half. Was that was Duke the reason that killed your shots, or was it a spacing issue? Was it the lineup needs fixing before this ACC tournament? What was it, and why couldn't you guys find the basket?
I mean, I'll give Duke props, man. They are tenacious on defense. You gotta give props where props are due. But I do think that can we not do that? Can we come up with a better name for that? You gotta. I'm not mature enough to not laugh at that, man. Come on.
What do you call it?
The D-Train.
Oh, D-Train. Yeah,
yes,
sir. Train. I thought you were talking about your train.
We need to workshop that.
Hey, Hassan, I mean, I won't because of the kids, but my train also is referred to as a D train. Just so
Jesus Christ. Come on. I just think, man, that fuck, man, you got
All right.
just as hell, man. And I think that it was a combination of that and us just turning the ball over. I think that at some point you get inside your own head. We were hitting shots. I mean, we shot the ball 45% from the field. Like that's not a bad game. It's just careless mistakes, and then we need to use our size better. Jaron Stevenson needs to play bigger. Zayden High was a ghost for a lot of that game. I think if this team's going to do anything inside, we need those guys to step the hell up.
Okay. So let me ask another question. Over under for Duke and Carolina tonight. Give me your score and prediction and your reasonings. Let's go, Darryl. Over under.
Are we talking like deficit? Are we talking total points? What are we talking about, Hassan?
Total points.
Thinking probably over 161. I'm going something around. I do think that Florida State will be able to score more than most teams do on Duke, but I don't think they're going to be able to score 87 again. So I'm probably looking somewhere around like 85 to 73, 74. So right around 160.
Darryl, you think a team hits 90 tonight?
I don't think so, man. I think when you start playing teams multiple times in the season, especially in tournament play, when everybody's trying to find their way in, especially those teams, specifically those teams that need to win the tournament to be able to get into the NCAA tournament, you're getting everything that somebody has. I don't think it ends up being 90. They're playing harder defense, and I think that that modifies what you might have seen earlier in the season, seeing somebody again and also playing a little bit harder.
All right, Will, over under tonight.
I'm looking at the line. Over under is 140.5 right now. I think I'll take the over. The first game was 67-63. We ended up winning by 4. I think Carolina probably wins 75-68. I think Clemson's favored now by 1.5. I think we can pull this one out though.
All right, great. Okay, Charlotte vibes. Let's talk about the spectrum, okay? Do you know Duke has won 6 ACC titles in Charlotte, including last year? Do you guys know that?
Yeah, it's the Coach K Invitational, man.
Okay. And so we can say like Charlotte could be Cameron West in a sense, right? But UNC has more alumni in Charlotte than any place in the country. And it's a school that's probably 10 times as big as Duke. So it is a neutral court in a sense. Who has the advantage? Duke or Carolina from a fan perspective if they both teams win out tonight?
I think I
think you've already schooled us. Yeah, I think I can't disagree with those numbers and those facts. I think Carolina probably has more of a fan base in Charlotte. They're going to have more people show up. So I would say UNC.
Okay, and Will?
Yeah, I think we do. I think that's a pretty easy question to answer.
Okay, all right, good. All right, well.
The better question is, can any of them come onto the court and help these guys get a bucket? Because they're going to need it. Yeah. I don't know if you guys
doesn't Kobe White still have a year of eligibility left?
Yeah, Kobe plays in the Spectrum Arena.
No, but if they get Kobe, if you guys get Kobe, then Sion and Khan are gonna have to come back. They in Charlotte too.
Yeah, and they really don't want that smoke.
But Darryl, you know who you can get? You can get the Boozer's dad, his beard. You can get him on the court, back on the court.
Hey, listen, man, them jerseys wouldn't survive that beard, dude. Jerseys wet. They might come out in the home team white and leave in the alternate black uniforms with that jersey with the beard dyed. That man got in that beard, dude. That shit is crazy.
He's got that Jaylen Brown beard, man.
That is the most dyed beard ever. Like, and
you never seen him like stroking his beard, dude. You know, because
that's not a natural color.
Come out chocolate.
It's not a color that you find anywhere in nature either.
No, it is jet black.
Nobody's hair has ever been that color.
That's Carlos the Beard Boozer, man.
No, that is like the best beard in basketball. But with that, we're going to wrap up episode 12.
Looks like a damn chia pet.
Yeah, so with that, we're going to wrap up episode 12. If you enjoyed the breakdown of the 76-61 statement win for Duke, do us a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button. Give us a like. And whenever you're listening, watching, share this podcast because it helps us reach fans all across the world. Whether you're celebrating a 15-point statement win in Durham or looking for a way to bounce back in Chapel Hill tonight, March is officially here. Duke moves on to face Florida State tonight, and we'll be there next week to break it all down. We'll see you next week as we break down the ACC tournament. And fellas, as we always say, what do we say?
We out.
We out.
Blue Blood TV podcast is available on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, guys, these shows grow when you share them. So we have a great show here. Share them with all your friends. Make them aware of the Blue Blood TV podcast.